Hello and welcome, my name is Sheep Thief, and today I'll be coming at you with some Rome 2 Total War multiplayer online gameplay 1v1 computer game gameplay analysis. So this is a game where I'm going to, this is going to be lesson 3 in the 3-part series on how to deal with Rome. So, Rome is a faction that is played by a lot of newer players, and they get kind of rewarded for it because Rome has really good units. Now, a disclaimer, anyone who plays Rome with a pre-Marian composition is a gentleman and a scholar that should be commended. They should be praised. They should be, when you meet such a man or woman, you should tip your hat, you should bow, you should fall into a deep bow, or an elegant curtsy for any of the female members of the Sheep Gang family, because the pre-Marian Roman composition is high tea. That's a high tea impressive move to make. But there's another way to play Rome, which is entirely post-Marian, where you get tons of their widely considered to be broken post-Marian infantry that is quite difficult to kill. But the more common thing is some kind of mix. So, like, as you can see here, you've got Hastati, Vigiles. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, is this pre-Marian? Is this guy a boss? But then he's got like these eagle cohorts, which are more. These are pretty good units. So, sort of a mix, and this is the common thing. So a lot of Hastati. He's got some Balearics, Syrian archers, Syrian archers, Syrian archers. He has a unit of elephants. He's got a general's bodyguard, and then just 2 socii extraordinaries. My composition is my sort of standard Iceni composition. I've got 3 Briton slingers. I've got this sort of measly melee cav squadron here. A line of 4 chosen sword bands, 3 painted ones. These guys are so cool. These guys are some of my favorite units. Really good charge, but no armor, so you gotta be careful with them. And then some Levy Freemans on the flanks, and then way over here I've got ambushers, which can deploy behind the enemy lines in the beginning of the game. And I'm filtering them through this forest to get set up behind the Roman player. So I'll make it go. My general philosophy with this composition is have it really wide. I like having good avenues for my painted ones to slip through the chosen swordsman and get charges. Now, I would say I definitely have not mastered this yet, because my painted ones do die, and I think ideally they'd be wrapping around, because you don't want them to get involved in a long fight. They can really mess things up on the charge. If you remember to hit frenzy, they have frenzy. Okay, come on, how do I click that? You see that little eyeball down in the left? That's frenzy. You want to click that when they charge. But anyway, if you frenzy and charge, you get a lot of kills. Oh yeah, the final piece of my composition are these chariots. So these chariots are only 900 points, but in my opinion they're better than in every way than the heavy scythed chariots that some of the eastern factions have. I think the scythed chariots need to be buffed, or these need to be nerfed or something, because these are just way better in every single way, but they're 400 points cheaper, so not quite sure what the thought process is there. So what I do initially is just sort of check this out. I'm a little weirded out by these elephants and a little unclear what to do, because if he gets these elephants on top of me, I've got these 2 MLG Freemen on either wing. Where is it? There. That have javelins. The chosen swords do have javelins, but the thing is, like, if the elephants get on top of this, the elephants, if they move in a line like this, will just completely destroy my whole army. So I'm being pretty tentative. As mentioned before in the How to Deal with Rome series, you want to come at Rome at an angle, because it forces them to kind of adjust and react. What they want to do is just sit still and have you charge them. So I sort of experiment with having these chariots come and try to throw their javelins at the elephants to see if I can make them go berserk. I don't think that will ever work. I don't think they'll ever do enough damage. The ranged weapon of the chariot is not impressive. So you can see they like fire a few of their javelins, but I think it would be kind of cool if the chariots were, and the elephants had, if their range attack was a little more formidable. Because historically the archers on the elephants and the javelin men on the chariots would be like the best ones in the kingdom. So they should be like super accurate. Maybe higher damage too, because the javelineers would have been very strong individuals. And I'm pretty sure if like the cream of the crop of javelineers in the Iceni state or tribe threw a javelin at an elephant, it would really anger the elephant, and it would definitely go deep into the elephant's body. But I don't know, maybe I'm overestimating javelins. Anyway, yeah, so I kind of try to annoy the elephants just almost experimentally, because I was wondering how much damage that would do. But then his elephants come out here for some reason, and I'm like, okay, I am going to move my slingers forward and try to trigger the elephants. He's being really conservative with his archers in the middle here. I'm not quite sure what he's concerned about. This is Hastati. So Hastati, this is pre-Marian Roman infantry, and it's balanced and not broken. But he goes into Testudo, which blocks a lot of missile penetration. So I kind of just pull the slingers out of there, let him sit there in Testudo. Really, my goal is I do not want to get tied up in anything until those elephants are dealt with. He starts putting some fire into this unit, and I kind of am neglecting it. Yeah, taking about 10, 15, 20 deaths right there, so not good.
Forwards!
But it seems like he's
anything for the gods!
Just sort of letting me move these slingers up. This is pretty dangerous. Like, he could definitely have charged just with his general right here, or even the elephants. But he's a little slow to react, and I get one shot, and I'm like, yeah, you can hear them freaking out. And then I'm like, alright, one more shot, then I'm going to have to start running, because if he charged me, and then there's another one, you can hear the elephants really don't like that, and they go out of control, which is what I wanted. And then they just beautifully take out one of the horsemen, and they're just going straight into his army. This could have been terrible for him, and he's like, nope, I'm not dealing with that. And you can see he has his elephants killed by their owners. Very sad. So yeah, at this point I'm thrilled by that result. And that's sort of the weirdness dealt with his composition, along with like what, 1,300 points I think is how much that costs for Rome. So definitely a win for me there, and a lesson, because a big part of this How to Deal with Rome series is like how to deal with your elephants, and this is a lesson in you need to keep your elephants back. You do not want them on the flank. You do not want them doing anything until you are in a melee brawl. So to this guy's credit, at this point he says, okay, you got my elephants, I'm going to advance. A lot of Roman players will just turtle up at this point, if they hadn't turtled up already. I think if this guy was going for pure optimization, he would have deployed in the woods, and he would have totally turtled up. He would have had his Syrian archers up front. I think that was a huge error. Not being more... What's the word? Not being more assertive with his missiles, with his missile troops. So he moves forward with the Hastati, going into a general brawl. So here you'll see the painted ones. As you can see, they will kill a lot of these units really fast. This unit is already dead. So this is why it's very important to have a good wide avenue for the painted ones to get a nice fat charge off. But at this point, it is a lot of infantry kind of in my grill, so to speak. And here you can see how the painted ones didn't get as good of a charge here, and they're not doing as well. In fact, they're getting kind of wrecked. And I have to send in the chosen band to kind of deal with them. At this point, the ambushers have made their way through the forest and help wrap around on this flank. But yeah, you can see these painted ones not having a good time. These ones are starting to not have a good time either because they didn't get another charge off. So this is why I'm not quite feeling at one with the painted ones just quite yet. They get a good nasty charge off, but then they start to, you see, losing slightly. They're not really losing many units anymore. So you want them hitting the side and behind, and just generally doing. This is not a great example of how to use your painted ones. And again, Hastati are not like super good Roman infantry, and so in other words, this isn't a. This guy's playing a non-cancerous Rome. A cancerous Rome, they would be getting wrecked even harder with this bad charges that I did here. But at this point, I'm pretty set on bringing the chariots in. What he should be doing is firing at the chariots with these units. But I think I sort of noticed that he's a little surprised and taken aback by the ambushers. As you can see, he starts trying to get some shots off, but at this point we hit this unit and start blowing it up. As you can see, the kills start to shoot up. 50 kills already. Pull through, hit the next one, and immediately, look at that. We're at almost 100 kills, wrap around. Now, as I've mentioned in the other videos, chariots and elephants take large amounts of micro, and you'll see things get neglected because of that. So what you want to do is bring in the chariots when you feel comfortable with where all your units are, and because you're going to need to micro them until they're dead. So as you can see, I'm having to like constantly adjust where they're going. So it's like every second needing to give a command. But it pays off. As you can see, they've already got 200 kills. My cavalry is getting a little neglected here. Like my general is not looking good. They're tied up with some eagle cohort, not what you want. But the chariots are at 250 kills. They've cleaned this up. And yeah, like I've mentioned before, with chariots and elephants, you just use some trash units to tie them down so that they can't use their javelins and then go in. And you can kind of circle around like you did in an arc, kind of adjust like I was fixing my cavalry, took a second, then get back to the chariots. But you can't, once you start using them, you need to start microing them hard. So he's got this big massive skirmishers in here, Levy Freeman on the sides, Ego Cohort and Chosen Sword Band having a man fight, but some Painted Woods came in from behind. I think bringing the Levy Freeman in here was a little excessive. Maybe I didn't quite see these Painted Ones or something. Like this was not good. But the game was not like decisively won yet. You can see the chariots are continuing to get kills. They just cleaned something up in there. I know I come around there. Again, the micro is sweaty, so I guess I take care of this. Come around here. And at this point, he's really just got his skirmishers, and so what I need to do is just stay out of range of them. This Chosen Sword Band's going to start to get picked apart really bad. This eagle cohort, as you can see, this is Roman infantry. This is a good example of the really hard to kill Roman infantry. This unit's totally surrounded, and it is still putting up a good fight against 3 units. So this is why people kind of think Rome is broken, and it's why noobs like Rome, is that they get kind of rewarded for...
Warriors, withdraw!
Like, look at this. This eagle cohort won that fight. So this is what people don't like about Rome, and it's what makes them hard to deal with. The levy freemen are out of position. They're about to go down. This chosen sword is about to go down. The chariots are now need to be repositioned, and I'm just kind of setting up. I do not feel like I've won this yet. I do have all my cavalry.
Advance at speed!
And I kind of, really all I need to do is get my cavalry in there, but he does still have this unit. So I come in, and that gets the eagle cohort's attention, and so what I should be doing right now is bringing the chariots in immediately. And this is nasty, like taking tons of missile fire, so much missile fire, and then the eagle cohort's coming behind, and at this point I'm a little nervous because if I can't kill all these archers, it's gonna get really ugly. And the chariots come in, and then there's a micro mistake here where for some reason they just started walking, which if he'd been paying attention would be the end for me. If he'd focused them right there, they would have gone down. And right here, because of that, you can see they take a gnarly javelin shot, and a lot of them go down. But here, I start microing really hard, and this is like a dream situation for the chariots. A bunch of sparsely packed units, and as you can see, the kills that they are getting are 400 kills. I think they got like 100 kills in about 3 seconds right there, and they push through, and at this point he surrenders because it's just like so nasty. Yeah, so I hope that this one was less clean, in my opinion, than the previous 2 How to Deal with Rome episodes, but I just wanted to show that my tactic against these Rome players on the public server lists, my strategy of chariots and elephants works with the chariots as well. What I haven't had success with, well, I haven't really tried. In a 2v2 I used scythed chariots with Pontus to nowhere near as good of an effect as the Iceni chariots. The scythed chariots cost, actually we can look at it really quick. Well, first let's look at the kills. As you can see, 400 kills for 900 points. Just for reference, these chosen sword, how much do they cost? I'm not sure, but well, a better example is heroic riders, which cost I think about 1200. Look how many kills they're getting. This is way less than a heroic rider, and it's getting, if a heroic rider got 400 kills, that would be insane for a heroic rider to do. If a heroic noble, or what's it called, heroic nobles, which are the elite swords for the Iceni, got 400 kills, that would be insane, especially against hard, heavy, gnarly Roman infantry. There's the only way you can get that level of kills against hardcore Roman infantry is with elephants and chariots. So I highly suggest working on using them and setting up. I think there are 2 aspects to using the chariots and the elephants. There's the micro itself, but more important than that is the setup. You need to set up a situation where you can use the chariots and elephants without them getting javelined. And then it's a little bit of luck, and then like good players will as the skill level goes up, the difficulty of doing that goes up, obviously. But anyway, thanks for watching. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, we'll look at the scythe chariots really quick. So like Pontus, yeah, 1380. Is that the same down here? I think actually you get fewer with the general unit. In fact, I know that. Don't have your chariots as the general unit, because you don't get as many for some reason. But yeah, these things, I think it's because they're bigger. It's way harder to like pull them through big clumps of infantry. So, and then there are fewer of them, and they cost, 50% more than the Iceni chariots. As you can see, the Iceni chariots are 900. And you get 20 of them. How many do you get with Pontus? You get 12. So you get only 12 of the chariots, and they cost 50% more, and they're harder to micro, and they like don't cooperate, and they get like stuck more easily. They should be so cool, but I don't know. I'm not really seeing how they are better in any way. But yeah, 900, and then wait. So go to so yeah, the chariot is 900, as you can see, but then a Roman elite unit, Praetorian Guard, is 1300. If this 1300 unit got 400 kills, that would be a really well used Praetorian Guard. And the chariots can get 400 on a average day. Like the most I've ever gotten is 800 with Iceni chariots. I'm going for 1,000, so wish me luck with that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck with fighting against Rome noobs.